If you guys want the fastest way to improve your aim, get some Control Freaks for cheap. Use code Goblin for 10% off and improve your aim today. Link in the description. Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty World War II video. So, we got this huge patch update just the other day which changed a lot of the weapon balance in this game, buffing certain SMGs, nerfing certain rifles, and a bunch of other changes overall. And since that update happened, I've been playing with each of these weapons, basically testing them out. And of course, I don't have that much playtime with each of them because the update's only been out, what, a day and a half, 2 days, maybe even like less than that, you know, a day or two. And basically, but I've played with them and I've gotten, you know, the community's opinions and mine to talk about in this video how each of these weapons has changed. Hope you guys can drop a like on this thing. 41 likes is our like goal today. If we could smash that, that would be absolutely awesome because we have a lot of different weapon changes. It's one thing when you see, okay, this weapon fire rate nerf, but you actually have to play with the weapon, test it out, and then you can feel, okay, did this nerf actually destroy this weapon? Did this buff actually make this the god gun? Or is it just minuscule changes? For some weapons, they're game-changing changes, and for other ones, they're kind of minuscule, and that's what we're talking about today. Smack that like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let's start off by talking about the FG42. So the FG42, what it said is that the fire rate was nerfed, as well as that the recoil was adjusted. So the thing that I can notice from the FG42 is this was a gun that was famous for basically its ability to get consistent 3-shot kills. And the FG42, the fire rate slow is definitely 100% noticeable nowadays. It seems to be slowed around 10% the fire rate on the FG42, and this is a huge hit to this gun that was probably a top, well, not even probably, definitely a top 3 weapon in this game. That fire rate hit is quite huge. It's basically like you had rapid fire, a little bit extra than that because rapid fire gives between 6 to 7% to different guns, and that was taken away. As far as the recoil adjustment on the FG42, I definitely do notice the changes. It has a little more bounce to it. What I mean by that is it's not like this gun shoots way up vertically or shoots way out to the right. It just bounces in the same spot. It goes up and down, and it, you know, automatically adjusts itself like that. If you can control recoil, the recoil on this gun is still not a problem. It's more bounce for sure, but I don't think you have to run a grip on this thing. It's optional. Grip does help, but it's definitely not needed. The recoil on this gun is not where it got hit. It's that fire rate, and with this slower fire rate, it definitely puts other weapons time to kill. This affects the time to kill. Now, the FG42 is still probably the best assault rifle at a super long range because I've had those, how you can get those 3 to 4 shot kills and control the gun quite easily. So it still probably is the best, if not, or at least one of the best at long ranges. But in my opinion, what's going to happen here is that, especially in the competitive Call of Duty scene, me personally, when playing ranked play, and I've noticed it in ranked play as well, pretty much a lot of people have gone off of the FG42 and everyone is back to the bar. So the bar is one that has a faster time to kill, a faster fire rate, can compete with SMGs, and I definitely think that because of this update, the bar, even though it's been nerfed twice before, is probably still the best gun in the game as of right now, and it is a super dominant weapon. FG42 is not nerfed to the ground where it's completely unusable, but it definitely got hit quite a few points down, which moves these other assault rifles up: the BAR, the M1941, and the STG44. Next change is with the SMGs. Now, the Thompson was the first one, which is the M1928, Tommy gun, Thompson, whatever you want to call it. That one got a fire rate buff, and essentially what this gives you is now it's sort of like how the Thompson was before with rapid fire. You're basically getting a free rapid fire onto your Thompson. Some other things I noticed about this gun that obviously weren't changes, but the gun has an insane hip fire, an insane fire rate, and now the fire rate of the Thompson is pretty much close to the fire rate of the WW2. And what these changes allow you to do is, before it was basically a toss-up between the Thompson and the WW2. WW2 would kill faster, would fire faster, but it had that more recoil, and the Thompson was, you know, still a fast-firing gun, but a lot easier to control. Now the Thompson is a little bit harder to control because when your fire rate gets higher, it's harder to control. But I definitely think because of how high the recoil and how inconsistent, not just high, inconsistent the recoil is on the WW2, in my opinion now, if you want a fast-firing SMG, you got to go with the Thompson pretty much every single time. I would take, I don't know where I would take the WW2 over the Thompson. Maybe on like really close range, because you know, the fire rates and stuff like that. But honestly, the Thompson is definitely the way to go if you want that super fast one. I think it fires just a tiny bit slower than the WW2, barely noticeable at all. Definitely the one to go with, because the WW has that inconsistent recoil, and the Thompson is pretty much just straight up vertical. So that makes this gun one of the better SMGs in the game. As far as the MP40, it was also a fire rate buff on that one, which basically gives you like that free rapid fire like it does with the Thompson. The rapid fire buffs were around 6, 7, 8%, or somewhere around there, and that's what rapid fire gives you as well. So it was like having rapid fire plus maybe an extra % or 2 right on there, and that's what I'm seeing people talk about as far as the statistics go on forums and on Reddit. That's how it's going right now. With the MP40, honestly, I've been using it quite a bit, and the fire rate is noticeable. If you slap on a rapid fire on top of these buffs, that's what I've been liking to do with that gun, and I'll probably do a live commentary with it tomorrow or something, you know, over this weekend. That gun does fire insane, and the talk now is the MP40 a top SMG? Is it better than the PPSH and the Type 100? Now, in my opinion, I would compare it more to the PPSH. I do like the PPSH better because you get 35 bullets. You have a better iron sights, in my opinion. More controllable recoil as well. And the MP40 doesn't have much recoil. I'm just so used to the pattern of the PPSH and how it flows that I'm able to control that gun, because that's my most used gun in this game. In my opinion, I would say the MP40 now is a top tier SMG, but I wouldn't say it's the best SMG. I'd still say that the PPSH is that best SMG in my personal opinion, and I've noticed that in competitive as well. Pretty much no, but I've seen some people, like, I think they're trying to use the Thompson on certain maps, but as far as the MP40, not many people are touching it. It's more of like a public match buff. PPSH and bar are what they're rocking with more with in competitive. As far as some other changes that happened here, some more obscure gun ones were some of the more noticeable ones. So this patch didn't really change the meta completely. The biggest change is with that FG42. Machine pistol got a nerf. Now, the machine pistol, the damage nerf is noticeable. The base damage was hit on this thing, and I was using the machine pistol, and it seems to take at least 1 extra bullet every single time, and now brings up that question, what is the best secondary in this game? Honestly, if you have a fast trigger finger, take the POA with extended mags. If you don't have a fast trigger finger and you hate semi-auto guns, me personally, I don't hate semi-auto guns, but I'm not the best with them, then stick with that machine pistol. But it's not that powerhouse like it used to be. Well, the POA is still your consistent 2-shot kill. The machine pistol still does decent at range, but at you know, the base damage and at close range, you know, pretty much at every range, I guess you could say. Like, it's not like it falls off super heavy now at range, but you will notice that it will take us that split millisecond longer to kill people. And that was received, honestly, a bigger nerf than I was expected on that one. As far as other changes they made was to the LMGs, so to the Lewis as well as the MG15. Those guns now have less recoil, and honestly, those guns had no recoil before, so you can't even really notice a difference. I don't really understand why they changed that, but basically those are no recoil machines. And now with LMGs, you do move a little bit faster, which makes LMGs more usable in the first place. It's kind of counterproductive because they sort of want you to use the armor division, which has that mounted LMG thing, which kind of encourages camping. But then now, I guess it's for people that play different playstyles, because if I use an LMG, I'm using infantry, I'm not using armor. And now I can move around a little bit quicker, and I'm not forced to run hustle or energetic or stuff that makes me move faster. And how hustle makes you move faster, just to clarify, is because you can run while reloading. But definitely a good change there. And the other one is the combat shotgun, which was already a decent shotgun. Shotguns in this game are sort of at a weird place. People that use shotguns a lot will say they're underpowered and they need buffs, and people that don't use shotguns will say nerf the shotguns, 1-shot kill, BS. So it's sort of a weird position. Combat shotgun now has, you're going to get, the damage range was increased, so you're going to be able to get more 1-shot kills with that. That's all up to honestly, I didn't use that weapon a lot before. I'm not the most well versed in that weapon. These other ones, you know, I have a lot of playtime, you know, FG42, Thompson MP40, machine pistol, and even the LMGs, because I made videos on some of those. but that's definitely a change that comes into play right there. Overall, this patch didn't shift up the top weapons so far. I'd say the main thing is that there's more usable SMGs, which is great because the SMGs were in a weak spot. And they've hit these ARs with nerfs so many times that honestly, SMGs might be better than ARs right now, but you still have that bar. You still have the untouched STG and the M1941, which is definitely a sleeper pick right there. One of my favorite guns in the game, which I don't think gets as much, I guess you could say, media news coverage or whatever you want to call it, because of how good other ARs are. But that's just my opinion right now. You guys go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. Some people say rip FG42. I still think it is usable and fun, but it definitely, that bar is what you're going to want to go for if you're going complete tryhard. Thanks for watching, guys. Drop a like if you guys made it to the end of the video. I'd appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Sub for Cookie and Don't Lookie, and I'm out. Peace.